Paradise on earth. I'm doing my utmost to help fulfill God's marvelous plan of establishing paradise on earth. A civilization in which disease, poverty, and conflict no longer exist will be a paradise on earth. Paradise on earth is a world where truth, virtue, and beauty manifest in perfect form. The aim of our spiritual movement is to establish a paradise on earth by helping to create and promote a spiritual civilization that will develop alongside our present material civilization. Paradise on earth is the phrase I have used to describe a world free from disease, poverty, and conflict, a world that has long been the ideal of humanity. Over the ages, spiritual leaders from various cultures have prophesied the advent of such a world without specifying a time frame for the realization of such ideals. However, I have become aware of the fact that the moment is close at hand. It would be extremely fortunate for humanity if paradise on earth could be established without any major changes. The truth is, however, that in order for the ideal world to be realized, the cleansing of the present world must first be accomplished. Just as an old house must be razed and the site cleared before a new house can be built, there will be a number of parts from the old structure that will still be usable and thus be spared, but their selection, of course, is up to God. To survive, all human beings must become useful members of the new civilization. By doing so, we can surmount the great change and pass God's test. This can only be achieved through faith in God.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. Meishu-sama taught us for paradise to be established. First, I must have paradise in my own heart. If I have paradise in my own heart, that will reflect in my home. So I will make my effort through the practices of faith to have paradise in my own home. Once my home is in the state of a paradise, my community, and from my community, my city, and then state, and then my country, and then the whole world. So it starts with me. Paradise also, sometimes I think as a state of mind. There is the analogy of the cup half full or half empty. It's the same cup, same quantity, depending on how the person looks. I've been living in New York City for more than 20 years. Throughout these years of my dwelling in here, I heard all these different comments from people. Some people hate the city. Oh, the city is noisy, is dirty, and some others love it. I'm on the side of those who love it. There is so much art, culture. The people that live in the city are the greatest asset that the city has to offer, is its people. So there are so many wonderful things. So depends, is the same place. How come for some is hell, for others is paradise? I think it's this state of mind. But the true value of the practice of faith, or how we can transform ourselves, transform our homes. I'd like to share in this line a faith experience that was posted just today in the website of our movement in Brazil. And I felt very moved by this experience. And it starts like this. I have been a jury member for 27 years. However, lately I had been prioritizing only work and not putting emphasis on other important aspects of life, such as family and spirituality. Due to my intense workday, I went to the Jorei Center very infrequently, did not put the basics practice of faith at home, and did little to explain Jorei in detail to family members. The pleasant and relaxed moments experienced with my family were rare. In 2017, I lost my job and started to make a series of reflections on my mission and the importance of not neglecting the spiritual side of my life. I realized that I did not quite appreciate the blessings I received from God. So, I felt a deep need to turn to spirituality and evolve in this direction. I started to attend the church more assiduously, where I channeled Jorei and dedicated at the reception. I also joined an intensive Jorei course at the college of our Mokichi Okada Foundation. Daily reading of the Meishu-sama's teachings before bedtime helped me overcome an insomnia that had been bothering me for a long time. I also intensified the channeling of Jorei to my husband and daughter. By practicing my faith in a more pragmatic way, I got stronger spiritually. With the pandemic and social isolation, I started to watch our daily and monthly services online. My husband, who was not a member, watched with me. These family moments were very pleasant, as we disconnected from all the bad we saw daily on the media outlets. I realized how essential being a Jorei member was to face that moment with serenity and hope. On November 15th, my husband started showing symptoms of COVID-19. My daughter and I also showed some signs, but we both soon recovered. With my husband, the situation became more delicate, as he started to have shortness of breath and anxiety attacks. Tests showed positive for coronavirus, and his lungs having a reduction of 10% of their normal capacity. I intensified Jorei to my husband, channeling an average of 2 hours every day. I communicated the fact to my minister and to some members, and they all started to pray for us. His condition remained critical for 15 days, but I remained firm in the Jorei's intensive practice. After that period, he began to improve, both from COVID-19 symptoms and anxiety. About a month later, he recovered completely. My husband, throughout the years, had been giving service at the Guarapiranga Sacred Grounds, participated in monthly services, and attended the church for years. However, every chance when he was invited to become a member, he said that he was not prepared and that everything has the right time. With the practice of faith at home, following the online services, and gaining consciousness of all the protection we received, he felt the desire to become a Jorei member. And on February 27th of this year, my husband and daughter received the Ohikari, the sacred focal point. I thank God and Meishu-sama for the blessings and protection received, as well as the permission to serve the divine work with my family for the realization of paradise on earth. Thank you very much. I felt that was very in alignment with today's teaching by saying we can pass God's test by this practice of faith. We have to become useful members of this new civilization. And nothing like having Jorei as the core of these practices of faith. So to transform ourselves, to transform our homes. We also have the other practices of faith, reading Meishu-sama's teachings, trying to guide others, like in today's experience. So she was a member for 27 years, but then realized she was not making any effort to have Jorei in the family, to convey the beauty, the power, the wonders of Jorei. Maybe she did try in the past, and with no results, gave up even the idea. So that's the commitment that we have to transform this world into a paradise. It starts with me and it starts with my home. I wish you a success in this practice. And also, I wish you a very wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.